Guys, it's Mera, and I'm back with a video about me. We're not talking about anybody else today. I've It's been a really long day. It's really hot in New Jersey. I wasn't sure I was going to do this tonight. We went to the farmers market and the flea market, went swimming. It's been like a really long, hot day. But I wanted to do this video. I'm having a lot of fun with YouTube so far, and I wanted to introduce you guys to something a little different. And this is going to be my first lifestyle video. Part of my lifestyle is BDSM, and I'm going to try to remember that a lot of you watching may be complete novices or just interested in the lifestyle, and I'm going to try not to use any like weird like lifestyle slang. So I'm not going to assume that you know what I'm talking about. You understand? I have some notes, and the first thing I want to tell you is obviously, what does BDSM stand for? BDSM stands for bondage, discipline, sadism, and masochism. The first two are self-explanatory. Sadism means you get pleasure from inflicting pain, like physical pain, emotional pain, humiliation, things like that. You get pleasure from inflicting those things on someone else. Masochism means that you enjoy having those things done to you. So I'll share a little about my journey into the lifestyle. Sorry, I have saltwater hair. I started out when I was 19. I found, all right, well, let's go back. When I first started having sex as a teenager, I knew that I like to be the submissive one in the relationship, and that I like things kind of rough. And those are always the kind of guys that I gravitated towards, and which are not always the best guys, especially when you're a teenager. Like, we can talk about those fuck ups I made like all day long. But I found chat rooms online. I'm almost positive that it was the Yahoo chat rooms that I first found. And the first kind of chat room I found was a chat room that revolved around Gore, which is spelled Gor. And it is a lifestyle in the BDSM family. It's a lifestyle that revolves around a series of books called Gore. Gore was the planet that they lived on. I haven't read the books, so I only know from the BDSM lifestyle point of what it's all about. But it was a series of books where the men were extremely dominant, and they were clearly in charge of everything, including the women, and the women were slaves, like real slaves. And they followed all the men's commands. The women were called Kajiras, Kajira, if you want to look it up. That's what they were called, and they were the men's servants in every way, if you know what I mean. So it's obviously like a little more complicated than that, and I can do some more research on it and get back to you in another video if you're at all interested, or obviously you can do your own research online. From those rooms, I found the more mainstream BDSM rooms, and I talked to lots of people, made friends, did some role playing, role playing is kind of funny when it comes to me because I can't role play, like, to save my life. If you were going to pay me to role play, I probably couldn't do it because I get very embarrassed and I get very nervous, like, pretending, and I just start laughing. So my partners have always, even if they tried, eventually realized she can't do it. Like, this isn't like for her. It's not my thing. It's also a fetish, like role playing is a fetish, all different things. But role playing different things are still under the umbrella of role playing. Because, okay, I knew that I was submissive, but I didn't know that there were communities of people, like in real life. Like, I knew that there were movies and stuff like that, but I never saw like communities, like people coming together, except for like if you thought, like, I thought like there's like obviously like orgies and like swingers parties and stuff like that. Like, I knew about that, but I didn't know that there was a community that could really come together and that would totally welcome me in, like, right from the very beginning. BDSM community is extremely welcoming, extremely friendly, and as long as you are 18 or older, you are welcomed in. Obviously, there is kink shaming in the BDSM community, but it is a very small portion of people. Very small. You'll find that most people are extremely accepting and loving, and they'll greet you with open arms. So I eventually met a person who lived up in North Jersey, and we were friends online for like a really long time. Like, we were friends on MySpace. We were friends in the old chat rooms, the AOL chat rooms, like the Yahoo chat rooms, and then we started becoming friends through like the instant messenger. And we were really good friends for a really long time, and they eventually came down for a weekend, and we hung out, and we had so much in common, and we just had so much fun. And they were obviously into BDSM too. And what we would do is we would hop on the train, and we would go into Philly, and we would go to the sex stores. There are BDSM stores. There are certain places where like the BDSM community hangs out in Philly, and it was easy to kind of find that out from like the stores. And like BDSM stores are also often like education places, where they'll hold like classes on different things. Like, there'll be a class on flogging, there'll be a speech on domination and submission. There'll be a class for just masters. There'll be, all different things that you can learn, like rope classes, shibari classes. So that's really cool. And like I said, as long as you're 18, if you're curious, always feel free. Don't be scared. I know it is scary to go into those environments because there's a lot of misconceptions about the community. But you'll be welcome, I promise. Like, don't ever be afraid. And you can always message me if you have any questions. We eventually went to a club in Philly that would do like BDSM nights. It wasn't a BDSM club. It wasn't a swingers club. It was just like, really just like a regular club. And I remember the first time we went there, I don't remember like all the details. I was 21, and it was cool. Like, I remember parts of the night. Obviously, we were also partaking in some different party favors, and so that kind of clouds my memory about a lot of things. And also, I have PTSD, which affects my memory, so that's also something I can talk to you guys about sometime if you want. So also, let me make a point that you should never engage in BDSM while drunk or on drugs. It is a very bad idea. It's extremely dangerous, especially if you're the bottom. So you don't want to do it. It's just a big no. You'll see it happen in the community. Some people feel that they're responsible enough to handle it. That's fine. Go ahead, do you. But I will warn you that it is dangerous. So things basically carried on that way. We didn't go back to that club again, but we would still go to like, I remember like we didn't like it that much. Like, I don't know. I don't know why we didn't really go back. We just didn't want to go back. But we still went to like the stores and like, hung out like in the same areas, like especially in the freak community. Like, there's a lot of people involved in BDSM, and South Street in Philadelphia was the location of the freak community in the 90s. I am not a 90s kid, because those are literally kids in the 90s. I was a 90s teenager. Um, I am, along with being submissive, I am demisexual, and that means that I am only sexually attracted to people whom I have a really close friendship with or a spiritual connection with. So it's like a little bit harder for me to date. Obviously, I'm dating now. I'm actually talking to a couple of people I really like right now. I'm also partnered. I'm poly. I live, that's my lifestyle. We can talk about that in another video. I know there were some people, when I mentioned it in my last video, that were quite rude about me being polyamorous and about the BDSM lifestyle. And that's okay. Feel free to comment those things that you feel in the comments, or message me on Instagram, or hit me up on Twitter. And we can have a talk, or we can have a debate, or I can just completely wreck you because you are prejudiced towards a wonderful community. So I think that's all I really want to share today. That's just the basic outline of how I became involved. We can talk about later about where I am now in the community. It has been 22 years? 22 years, 21 years that I've been in the community. And like I said, I started and I felt really welcomed, and I just never left. Also, like back in 2008, a website that a lot of people might know is called FetLife. They opened up in 2008, and I was on there immediately. I was like one of the first folks on there. And I've met a lot of wonderful people. I don't really have any vanilla real life friends. Most of my friends are kinky in some way, fashion, or form. Queer, kinky. So I definitely think that's all I'm going to share for this video. Obviously, I can get more in depth. You guys can ask me questions. I will answer them unless they are of some extremely personal nature or involve something illegal. Obviously, I'm not going to talk about that on YouTube. So I want to thank you guys for coming to this video, and like, comment, subscribe, dislike, argue with me in the comments. I have been having a really good time on YouTube and in the comments. I've been on my phone a lot in the past week, but I'm handling it. I reply to all the comments. Like, I might miss like a couple here and there. I definitely hone in on like the meaner ones, but I definitely try to answer back all comments. And like I said, my Twitter, my Instagrams, my weight loss YouTube channel, I am plant-based, and that's how I'm losing weight, and I have made a channel about it. There's only one video. It's my introduction video. It'll give you all my background about my weight and about my issues and how I have been losing weight and I'm continuing to lose weight and get healthy. So thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.